This is Dan Howell, PTI Securities and Futures for your Thursday, January 26th afternoon wrap-up. Overnight, we had a relatively normal range at a 12-point range in the S&P. The Asian markets were kind of flat, still having a big holiday over in China, and European markets were up. We opened up pretty good, but we started to sell off. But before the opening, we actually had the jobs number, which came in about kind of as expected. But once again, since it wasn't bad, in the last several weeks were actually pretty good. The 4-week moving average was actually pretty good. But it came in 377 versus expected 375, pretty much right on. Durable good orders was pretty much right in line, although the headline number was in line. It was actually the detail anti-aircraft, taking out the aircraft, was actually a little bit better than expected. Leading indicators was worse, and when you take into the fact that they actually revised down the prior month pretty substantially, they actually came in significantly worse. Earnings news was a little bit mixed. Potash was significantly worse than expected, but Caterpillar, the big news, was very good. We also had Nucor and 3M came in a little bit better than expected. So all in all, earnings news was a little bit positive here today. But during the course of the day, we did start to slump a little bit, probably due to the fact that the monetary burst of people buying because we're going to have interest rates free forever. Yesterday's meeting kind of wore off during the course of the day. So the SVX closed down 13.18, down 7 today. The Dow closed down 12.734, down 22. NASDAQ closed down 13 at 28.05. Still continual buying of the bonds and a 10-year note. Jury's still out as to whether or not the people are buying just because the Fed thinks that they're going to keep the rates down, and some people think that the Fed actually does control the further out on the curve, the 10 and 30 year. I, on the other hand, do not. So I'm thinking that this is more of a flight to safety, and the continued buying that will eventually be considered negative, but currently it really isn't. Dollar was a little weaker today, closed down 0.05 at 79.12. Gold, cheaper assets are all over the board, so all of the commodities were up here today, so the gold was up 20 today. Looking forward to tomorrow, we have GDP tomorrow, big number. We also have Michigan sentiment. The only other thing that was going on is European debt markets continue to be relatively calm, except for Portugal. And ECB was buying pretty heavily in the Portugal debt because they don't want them to go Grecian. New term. It's Dan Howell, PTI Securities and Futures.